Welcome back to part 2 on a YFZ450 Yamaha, and let's go over what we did in the last video. What we did was we stripped the back down, we cleaned it up, we replaced the rear shock. The rear shock was broken down on the bottom, broken in half. I replaced the rear shock. I don't think in the last video I mentioned anything about this shock. This shock didn't magically appear as the video may have made it look like. I actually picked this up on Marketplace. Somebody local to me was selling it, and I gave him 30 bucks and he took it, and I brought that shock home and threw it in. It was a perfect fit and everything's great. The old shock is down here. You guys remember, it's broken. It's not usable. We took the brakes off, and we cleaned a lot of stuff up. And we went through the boxes and found out we had all the engine bolts, all the engine mounts, and the engine bolts, which is good. We tested the battery. The battery seems iffy. I don't think it's going to be any good. We took the sprockets off, cleaned them up. Well, the sprocket off, cleaned that up, took the wheels off, we cleaned everything up. I got the brake pads in the mail, so we are going to throw those in this video. And finish up in general the back of this four-wheeler so that we can put the wheels on, back it out, turn it around, and put it back on the lift. I got a bunch of stuff in the works on this thing, and let's get going on this video. So I put the top screw in here. It's still loose, but I needed to get leverage to crack this, and I wanted you guys to see this. So this one here, I haven't pulled it out yet, but it was really hard to unscrew for the first couple of turns. As you can see there, it's pretty corroded. That's why those brake pads were worn unevenly. And that one there's got some corrosion on it too. But we can clean all that up with a wire wheel. All right, so let's pull the pads out anyway. You can see that this piece here is broken. That's no good anymore. And how's that for a pad? Think there's any material left on that? I'm going to say not. These pads have been replaced though at one point. So this bike's been ridden hard. And this pad here is worn at a really weird angle. So we'll replace them. I'm going to clean this stuff up and I'll come back when I'm done. I cleaned up the screws, and you can see here, there's aluminum inside that thread there. This one here is okay, but this one has aluminum in it. This is the one I had a hard time getting out. I'm going to take a pick and I'm going to get all the aluminum out of there, and I'm going to run a tap in these holes here just to clean them out. All right, so what I did was I took an 8mm bolt nut and I ran it over it and I cleaned it up. I got most of it out. It should be okay now. All right, I guess now what we'll do is we'll push the caliper piston back in. Piston's moving pretty freely, so I think it's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with this caliper. She's going right in like butter. And we'll crank it in until it's fully seated, which it is now. Now this thing was on the low end. Now you can see it's full because we forced all the fluid from the piston being all the way out. We forced all the fluid back up into the master cylinder because the brake pads were all worn out, and now we should be in pretty good shape. All right, let's pump it up, see what we got. I got the wheels back on. They look good now that they're all cleaned up. Front ones, not so much. All right, so I'm going to take it off the lift, and I'm going to spin it around, and we'll start working on the front. All right, pushed it outside, and I cleaned it up a little bit more in the back here. You can see I got it pretty clean now. Took that off. Had one I noticed there's a couple of screws broken here. The screw broken off there. I tried to drill that out, but I think they broke a drill off in there. I can't get it out. This side here I was able to drill out, and I had to go quarter 20. Quarter 20 is bigger than the 6mm. So I drilled and tapped it for a quarter 20. That should be good enough to hold the airbox in. It's better to have 3 than just 2, so that's been fixed. And again, it's all cleaned up in the back here. It's in good shape. All right, I'm going to push it back in the garage now and work on the front. Back in the garage. I got it back on the lift. It's looking pretty good. It's all cleaned up. I straightened the bars out, and I have the bars parallel to the ground, the way I like them. But man, I'll tell you what, these are some tall, swept back bars. These things are really tall. I don't know what that's gonna feel like riding, but I don't think I'm gonna change them out. These Pro Taper grips here, you know, they're nice grips, but the reason why that thing is so loose is because whoever bought the grips bought grips for a dirt bike. This is a grip for a twist throttle. That's why it's so big on there. That's never gonna fit no matter how much glue you put on it. So I picked up another pair of grips right here, and they're just some cheap Amazon grips. $5 I think I paid for them, and they'll be perfectly fine on here. They'll work fine. So far to date, I got $5 in rear pads, I got $5 in grips, and I got $30 in the shock. So right now I'm $40 into this thing for parts, which isn't too bad. So the budget build is coming along quite nice. So what I'm going to do now is, oh, I didn't tell you guys what I paid for this. I paid $900 for this. It's what I paid for it, $900. So I got $940 into it right now, and I'm not really going to count for these purposes. I'm not going to count what I paid for it, because let's just assume somebody had this bike already and they blew it up and they want to fix it. It's kind of what this video is about. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this bar off. All right, I finished cleaning this all up. Looks really good. Pretty happy with the way it came out. As I was cleaning, I noticed that this chain roller here has seen better days. It doesn't spin very freely, and I went through my box of stuff and I found a much better chain roller. It's the same diameter, same width. Gonna pop it on here and come back when I'm done. New chain rollers in. Spins nice. Total cost $0. And you can see here, these bearings, they're just falling right out of that thing, so that was junk. All right, I also put a bolt under here. This bolt was missing. Now we tighten the radiator up and the support and all that. And I think we're pretty good on the frame at this point. So it is time to move to the engine. We're at the bench, and this is the engine that came with the bike. You guys remember from the first video's opening montage or mock-up, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, these are the parts. I'm just kind of going over everything that I have here, and I noticed that I am missing one of these, one of the steel washers that go on these. This one doesn't have one. We got the gasket here. I'm not quite sure what this stuff is. This, I think, is one of the oil line bolts, brass washers that goes underneath the oil line. I'm, again, not sure what that is. And I don't know what that goes to. I have no idea. We're missing 2 bolts for the caps. The cams are here, but we're missing the half moon keeps that go on there. Those aren't there. I'll have to order those. The cams look okay. I mean, there's wear in here, but this is a budget build, so I'm just going to go with them. They're a little bit worn, but the lobes are really good. Well, maybe not. Yeah, the lobe on that one don't look so hot. Might need to get new cam. This cam looks okay. The exhaust cam, not so much. She's got kind of a pretty good nick right there. I don't know if you guys can pick that up. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we'll use it, maybe we won't. As you can see, the head's still on here. I put a couple of the bolts back in here. I put this bolt in, and I put this bolt back in. I just wanted to see if what I had and what I didn't have. Spinning around. This side cover right here is missing, so I'm gonna have to pick one of those up. And I think everything else is here. I don't really see anything else missing. All right, let's looks like the exhaust nuts are here too, which is good. All right, let's pop you guys in a stand and let's pull the head off and see what we got. All right, let's pull the head, see what she looks like. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Boy, let me get some light on that. That thing is in rough shape. Wow. Talk about detonation. Man, I don't know if this head's usable. Every single valve is bent. Every single one. Whew. It gets better. You guys got to see this. Let me put that down. So the piston's missing, and I'm going to say that somebody already went in here and took it out. Wow, you can see the wrist pin is down in there. The crank snapped completely off. Wow. This motor is junk. All right, let's continue to dismantle. Alright. Put the chain out of the way. And it looks like that's okay. Don't see anything wrong with that. Oof. Wow. Look at this. I mean, it just shattered. Completely shattered. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, we're missing this piece right here. I don't know where that is. That's missing. Gonna have to get another one of them. Figure that part of it out. Whew. Well, that's a piece of the piston. That is long gone. I can't get the wrist pin out. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, let's take the starter off and let's test that and see if it works. Let's see if it works and see if we don't have to buy another one of those. No, this isn't looking promising. This whole thing is loose. Ay, ay, ay. Every piece of this bike is gonna be no good. I got a funny feeling. Well, let's take this cover off. See what's behind that. That looks okay. Throw those in there. Get the starter gear out. That looks okay. Put those over there. Boy, she don't want to come off. All right, the starter. Let's see. The cone is loose, and that's not a good thing. So let's I don't know. All right, let's see if it works. All right, seems to work pretty good. That's good. We'll have to figure out why this cap is loose. Probably just have to tighten the screws, and then we got to figure out the if that gasket's all right or not. We'll do that later. Let's continue to disassemble. All right, let me see if I can rotate this at all. I got this hose hanging off of here. This is really becoming quite a pain. It's knocking everything over. Anyway, let's see if I can rotate this at all. Oh, I did. All right. And that's the wrist pin. Pretty chewed up. Let's take the shifter off. And I'm just going to say that normally you do not see brass washers on your shifter. So I don't know where these came from, but they're not supposed to be on your shifter. Those are usually on something you don't want to leak oil. Shifter looks like it's okay. All right, I think I want to take the stator out first. Also, we're missing this right here. The timing mark cover is also missing. So, and I want to take all this stuff off because everything needs to be cleaned really good. So we're gonna get it off anyway. Let's just grab this thing off of here. and there's pieces of metal in here, little piece right there. But other than that, doesn't look too bad. Doesn't smell that bad either. I've definitely seen a lot worse. Let's take this gear out. Put these in there as well. You can see it. There we go, it's free now. And that is a factory crank. And there is very little play in that, if any at all. Yeah, that crank's really nice. I want to say that maybe this thing is, oh wait a minute, hold on. What does that say on there? Some writing on the side of it. Yeah, that's a hot rods crank. So this has been recently changed. And I'll tell you what, man, that crank is tight. That's a shame that it blew up like that. I guess what we're gonna do now is, God, I don't even know. Let's go a little deeper now. I think we should take the side cover off, check the clutch. I mean, there's our hole. Let's dig a little deeper, see what we got. I'm gonna throw you in the stand and have at it. Yeah, there's a lot of pieces of stuff in there. All right, let's pull the clutch, see what that looks like. Clutch looks pretty good. I don't see any excessive wear on here. This looks real good, actually. Clutch plates look really nice. Happy with what I'm seeing so far on the clutch, that's for sure. Ooh. Well, that was difficult. Tell you what, it should not be this hard to get this off of here, that's for sure. Must have been pieces of metal holding it on. But I'll tell you what though, it looks really good. I don't see anything wrong with anything here. I mean, everything looks real good. I mean, the basket looks phenomenal. Well, this stuff here fell out while I was moving it around. And that is a piece of piston. And there's a ring. That looks like an oil wiper ring. And that is an actual compression ring. And there's a bunch of other piston parts here. And there's this unbelievable amount of parts just everywhere in there. There's a ring right here. Let's pull that out. That's a wiper ring for the oil ring. I don't see anything else. Oh, there's more in there. Get my magnet. That's another regular ring. Boy, I'll tell you, there's pieces of metal everywhere in here. Pieces of aluminum, pieces of ring. Well, I guess right now what I got to do is I got to figure out what I want to do here. I mean, how far do I want to get into this? This is supposed to be a budget build. And I'm looking at probably between, you know, we're looking at probably $400 or $500 in cases. Another $3.5 for a crankshaft. Talking 750 bucks right there for cases and a crank. Then I need pistons. I need a piston, rings. I need a cylinder. I need to figure out something to do with the head. We're missing the clutch cover. We're missing miscellaneous nuts and bolts and things like that. I'm not sure that this engine is really worth rebuilding. I really don't. Jeez, I don't know what to do here. So I'll tell you what. Let me stop the video here. I'll come back. I want to go online and look and see what I can find, and I'll be back when I'm done. All right, so the motor's pretty messed up, and rather than spend the money and try to fix that one, let's hit the way for some parts. Let's see what I got. So I sent away for these. This is the second box that came with the first one, and this should be the top end. Let's get a look and see what came for me. That's wrapped up pretty good. Get a look here. So we got one screw in there. Came with the coil, and these are all stuff that I'm missing. Let's take a look. I don't think the head is connected. Let me see if I can take this off of here. There's the other washer. I need both of those. Oh, look at that. It even came with the cams. That's amazing. All right, let's see if this comes off. So the head itself, as you can see, it's got a blowout right there. And I don't know if that's fixable. I mean, we'll have to do some building up in there. But I'm going to be honest. I'm going to see if I can't... I'm going to try to get this welded, I think. See if I can't use this head. If not, I got 5 valves and I will use them, that's for sure. And I'm gonna check the cams. I'm gonna check everything here. We may actually use these cams instead of the ones that I have. More to come on that. And he included the cylinder as well as the piston. And the cylinder seems like it's not too bad. I mean, I'll look at it. And actually, you know what? The piston don't look bad neither. Chain tensioner and everything. Well, we'll take a look at it. We'll see. Let's get it to the bench and we'll see where we stand. All right, this is the answer right here. We got up on the bench. Let's take a look. I got this whole engine for $310. And the $10 was he charged me an extra $10 for the coil because I didn't have the coil. $310 is a steal for an entire engine. Yes, the engine needs work, but it has a hot rods crank in it, and I don't have any up and down. It's a little bit of end play, but it's got a hot rods crank, and the reason why this motor went is because they had a head gasket issue, and let's investigate that now. First of all, let's spin this around. It's still got the sprocket on here. Everything is here except for the stator. I guess he sold the stator. Let's spin it around. The timing chain is kinked, so we're gonna replace that anyway. Clutch cover that I was missing is here. Let's unscrew this and see what we got going on underneath here. And one more screw. He sold the clutch housing. That's not here. Again, not a big deal because I have the clutch from this one. So all the parts that he sold or are missing on this engine, I have on this engine. So between the two, I am pretty sure that I can build a complete engine. I have everything I need for a complete engine. So let's take a look at things. So the bottom end is good. I got a set of cases. I got a great bottom end, crank, everything. I could just throw this thing right in the frame. First I'm going to dress it up. I'm going to clean it. I'm going to inspect everything, and we'll go over that together. But I just want to show you what we have here. And then as far as the head goes, we're missing both top bolts. There's one here, but there's one missing. So now I only have to buy one of these top bolts, which is pretty good news. Just need to buy one. Pull this off, and it looks to me like both camshafts are here, both cam covers. Let's see what's underneath here. Let's see if we have the two clips I'm missing. Hopefully they're here. They might not be. And they're just loose because I think he took them off. I think everything was disassembled because he was trying to sell it all, but individually, but I gave him an offer for everything and he took it. Alright, so the clips are not here on this one either, which are not a big deal. I'll just buy them. The camshafts, the camshafts are in way better condition than the ones I have. So I think between the two of these engines, I'm going to be able to build a pretty nice complete engine, and I'm really happy about that. So let's put all the screws back, put everything in its place so we don't lose it. And I'm pretty sure I was missing 2 screws too, which I don't have to buy now because I have them. All right, let's flip this guy over and take a look. We got a blowout right here, and it went right through the exhaust port. So I don't think this head's any good. He sold the head to me as parts. I am going to take all the valves out of this and put them in the other head. I might even take the valve guides out. We'll see. I'm gonna try to get that welded, but I'll hang on to this for a later date, see what we can do with it. And he also sent me the cylinder, which obviously I need, and another chain. Now I have another chain tensioner. The piston's in here. It doesn't look bad. I can't tell how the bore is because the piston is in the cylinder, but it doesn't look terrible. There's a little bit of scoring up there, but I know this is a plated cylinder, but I might throw a hone in this, and well, she's got a couple of gouges in it. Yeah, she's got a couple of gouges right there. Let's just push the piston out and see what we got. Oh yeah, she's got a couple. She's gouged up. Well, like I said, I'm gonna throw a hone in it, see what it looks like. We got nothing to lose. And this is a Y-scope piston, and the piston actually looks good. The rings look good. I don't see any damage here. There's no damage on the top. I think I'm going to reuse this piston. The clips are in it. I'll buy new clips though. We'll check it out, but I'm probably going to reuse this piston, sticking with the theme of the budget build. So I'm going to set this aside so it doesn't get damaged. But I think we're going to hold the cylinder out and see what it looks like. I might use it, we might not. Let's see. All right, this is great news. This is great news getting all these parts. So I am going to be able to use both these engines and build one decent engine, and it's not going to cost me a lot of money. It's only going to cost me, what, 310 bucks basically to get a running engine. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be able to get a running engine out of all these parts. Like I said, I don't know about the cylinder though. This thing, the piston looks good, but I don't know about the cylinder. Yeah, this cylinder looks bad. It looks pretty gouged. But I don't know. We'll throw a hone in it and see what it looks like when it's done. It might be good, might be usable. Those might just be stains. I'm not really feeling anything on my fingertip, on my fingernail. I think it might be okay. We'll give it a try. All right, I'm gonna shut you off here. I think the next video, we are going to start tearing into this. I might wait on this. I think the next video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna concentrate on the head. I'm gonna try to save that other head. I know the head is all bang. The head's got massive damage on it, but I'm going to try to save that other head, and that's gonna be in video too. So I wanna thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing, liking, commenting. Like I said before, I like the interaction between the subs and myself and anyone asking questions. I like to help out whenever I can, and I'll continue to do so. So I'll see you guys in video 2, and for now, I'm going to sign off. Once again, thanks for watching.